One of the big subjects for the Star Wars sequel trilogy, specifically Episode 9, has all to do with splitting the film into two movies. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, that is of course one thing that Episode 9 has going for it, is that this movie is going to have a lot of content in it. And it's really hard to say on whether or not this is a good or a bad thing for the movie, depending on its running time. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to have the most Star Wars characters out of every single Star Wars movie, as well as the most worlds out of every Star Wars film. So that alone is actually making a lot of fans around the world questioning themselves if this movie is really going to be long enough to pack all of these characters and all of these elements of the plot and the story into just one movie. And that's why splitting the film into two films is a very interesting subject for sure. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to be the quote-unquote, apparently, longest Star Wars film to date, and that to me makes a lot of sense. It has to be longer than that of The Last Jedi. I believe The Last Jedi, counting the credits, maxed out at, I think it was 2 hours and 16 minutes if I'm not mistaken, but looking at Episode 9, I think that they really have to push it to 2 hours and 45 minutes. But I think that splitting the film into two movies is the ultimate way to go. I think that is the best way to do it, because I want to go over some reasons why, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there would agree, and if you disagree, that's perfectly fine. Number one is all to do with Kylo Ren. Now, if you look at Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi and in The Force Awakens, to me at least, he's not the most intimidating character like Darth Vader or Emperor Palpatine or even Snoke for that matter. And if he's going to be that intimidating character, quote-unquote, in Episode 9, to me, one film just isn't enough, because having that type of character in one movie, at least only half of the movie will have him as an intimidating character, because either A, he's going to be killed off or defeated, or B, he's going to have a redemption arc. It's going to happen either way. So, with that being said, I think as a way to balance the character of Kylo Ren out, it would be great if we had two films where Kylo Ren is very conflicted and working his way to being fully embraced with the dark side of the Force, and two other films where he's fully in control of the dark side and fully embraced within the dark side of the Force, and a menacing and intimidating character just like Darth Vader as Supreme Leader Ren. Having him like that in two movies would really balance everything out for this trilogy. Now, of course, the downside of having this movie split into two parts is that it would break the trilogy format. It would really break the trilogy format to a lot of fans, and I can understand that. The other thing is that it would open up more possibilities for Luke Skywalker and Supreme Leader Snoke, and more backstory to those characters, while not wasting a lot of time for the new characters that they were setting up in The Force Awakens and in The Last Jedi. To me, it would be the best way possible to use that as a way of splitting the movie into two films. Now, the other thing here is that it would really make up for the events in The Last Jedi and really open up more possibilities for a lot of our main characters and expand the sequel trilogy a whole lot more. Again, if you look at both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, those films don't have a time jump in between, so we don't really see these massive pieces of character development within Kylo Ren or Rey. Not too much. And I think that by going into Episode 9 and just having one time jump in this sequel trilogy, it might not be enough, but to have two time jumps with Part 1 and Part 2, you would really see this full and complete character development for both Rey, Kylo, Finn, Poe, etc. And that's something that I think a lot of fans would love to see on the big screen. Now, looking at Episode 9, we do know, and apparently this movie is going to take place numerous years after the events of The Last Jedi. It's going to be something kind of like what The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones did, where you do see this huge time jump, right? In between those two films, I believe it was 10 years. Apparently, Episode 9 is going to be 5 years after the events of The Last Jedi, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how many years it will be. So Episode 9, splitting it into 2 movies, not only, like I said, it opens up the possibilities for a lot of our characters to have more action, more character development, make up certain elements in The Last Jedi that weren't necessarily explored, quote-unquote, and it would also expand the Skywalker saga and really kind of have the ability to deliver more for the character of Luke Skywalker, and I think that's something that a lot of people would love to see. But again, the only downside to all of this is that it would break the trilogy format. It probably wouldn't make a whole lot of sense by Disney and Lucasfilm to have a Part 1 and a Part 2. And not only that, they're focused on their new Star Wars trilogy right now. They want to focus away from the Skywalkers, and I feel like that a lot of people don't want to see that happen. They want to stick with the Skywalker/Solo family and just expand that and kind of just go down the family tree. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.